What up? It's Phantasmal Bear, and today I'm going to do a deep dive on emeritus of ideation in grixis reanimator. So, for those of you that haven't seen the card, it is a 5 mana, 5/5 flying with ward 2. This creature enters prepared, and when it enters, you get an ancestral recall, which is instant target player draws 3 cards. And whenever it attacks, you can exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, this creature becomes bad again. So it's repeatable ancestral recall. And this is the first creature that can really compete with Archon of Cruelty in terms of power level and reanimate. I don't think it's the effect of, I think discard a card, sacrifice a creature, draw a card, gain through life, lose through life, is more powerful than ideation immediately. But by the time you've drawn 6 cards, the game's probably won if you ever activate this twice. There are a couple of key differences. First of all, you can realistically cast emeritus of ideation. It costs 5. You can cast that. You will get to 5 mana. You almost never get into 8 mana with this deck. You only ever persisting. So that's an advantage. Then we have the fact that diversity of threats. So the deck isn't particularly threat diverse. You just have a Binocular, Psychic Frog, and Archer of Cruelty. If you're playing the more common versions, you will also have the Emperor of Bones, but we don't have that. We're playing Theology Archaeologist and Flare Denial instead. Now, Theology Archaeologist will be better for filling the graveyard. Emeritus, strong. But there's diversity, so we make ourselves less weak to surgical extraction by playing a mix of Archon of Cruelty and Emeritus of Ideation, which is what I've decided to do. Overall, I think Archon of Cruelty is slightly better, but the fact that you can diversify your threats, provide an alternate win condition, and then and it also is of a similar power level, but and it's castable. It's castable, unlike you never really reach an 8. But it means that if all your Archon, if your Archons get, say, surgically extracted, extrapolated, you've still got an emeritus that you can use as that sort of value engine win condition on top of the imbalance, which it's good to have a diversity of threats. Is what I'm saying, and it's not 100% clear. It's not going to be that Archer of Cruelty is better in all situations. Emeritus of Ideation will be better in some. And what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at the most popular matchups on Goldfish, and we're going to break down whether I think Archeron or Emeritus is better as a target in the matchups. Modern MCG, because I think that will be interesting. Modern MCG. One thing I will say is that I don't think you should be playing more than four large reanimation targets. So 4 targets that can only be persisted. Because really you don't want to pay 5 for Emeritus, but it's a bonus. But you don't want to be paying 5 for it. That's not your game. You want to be persistent. But I think I've considered, although I've never done it, going down to 3. You don't want a lot of targets. You don't want to make your deck too clunky. You want as lean and efficient a version as possible of the deck. So I don't like playing, say, 4 Emeritus and 4 Archon. I don't think that's a good idea. So let's go. That's 7 days. So Boros Energy. I think Archon is slightly better, particularly if you get it early. Archon is better, but emeritus is reasonable as well. It's harder for them to remove, as obviously, like they can't ping it to death because they'll have to pay 2 every time. And like the ward is a big bonus against boss energies. Often they will use a combination of Goblin Bombardment pings and something to remove something. So there's that in its favour, but overall I feel the ability to kill a creature is generally better against boss. Although sometimes you'll be more interested in drawing cards if you don't want them to discard cards for fight. But overall I think Archon is slightly better. Affinity. Ooh. You see, often pre-board, you probably want Archon just end the game quickly. But after board, you become a lot more controlling, and the fact you can actually catch emeritus becomes a huge boon, as you know, it's not a dead draw if you draw it. So I really like that in the affinity matchup. Jessica, Blink. This is a grindy matchup. I think it's really close between Archon and emeritus. There's the danger once again of this matchup of them discarding a flarge and then having what's its name, Arena of Glory, and hasting the flarge. There is that danger. But overall, I still think Archon is slightly better in that matchup, but they're both pretty good. And the bonus that you can actually cast it is very relevant here. Which is why I think a 3-1 split is actually sensible. Goyo is Vengeance. So here, I think Archon's better again because 1, you can cast it. 2, it doesn't give them a way to just. The problem is it gives. Although they're both pretty good, but the thing is, it means when you cast it, it gives them a way to possibly discard their big fatty themselves to then Vengeance, which does happen, and so I think I prefer Emeritus of Ideation here. Amulet Titan, once again, I prefer drawing more cards quickly against Amulet Titan, as you're more likely to find your relevant spells, which is just basically Flare of Denials. You just want to clock them fast and Flare of Denial. I think although the Archon will provide a slightly faster clock, it's not going to provide enough difference in terms of. Listen, Omnic Titan still wins fast enough, but the Archon isn't relevant. It's very rare, but the discard has any effect on them, or the sacrificing the creature. If they win, they resolve a Titan and attack straight away with multiple of them, and you're dead. So I think I prefer Emeritus here. So once again, it's tight, but you can see Neobrand. Now this is. Here I prefer Archon because discarding cards is bad for them. Even though you can't Flare of Denial, it might be better. You could say if you've got a turn 2 Flare, you can Flare of Denial with a Emeritus in play, which is a big case. Belcher, I think it's pretty close. Either of them's probably even a discard is relevant versus Belcher, but so is withdrawing 3. Ruby Storm. I think I probably prefer Emeritus because withdrawal 3 is more relevant. You're looking for specific cards. Forties is Flare of Denials and Dampling Spheres. The main zoo. This is a matchup where Archon definitely is better because if they get their nut draw of the ley line into the Draco, Archon deals with that. Living End, definitely Archon here. Definitely Archon against Living End. Because of the life gain, the fact it sacks other creatures, so if they resolve a Living End and there's Archons in your graveyard, it's a lot bigger deal than if a 5/5 which can draw you some cards. The game's pretty much over. On those old living end, not if an arch runs into the graveyard probably, but not the same with that. Adrositron, if you get it early, I think emeritus, because they can't. It's harder to kill because of Award 2, although like they're both pretty good. So as we can see, looking across the matchups, it's actually quite close. In a lot of matchups, and that's my take on it. There was no, obviously, it is all there are corner case situations where one is going to be better than the other. Overall, I think this is a good enough card, although I've only just got them and yet to try them out, so I'll let you know. But we've been on a real heater with this deck. Our rating is just below 1,850, 1848. We're doing really well, having a good time playing it, really enjoying it. This is the first. I've been reluctant to make any changes to the deck because it's been doing so well, but I just didn't feel I needed to change anything. But I think Emeritus provides an alternative to Artron, which maybe you should do a 2-2 split, but I'm going to start with a 3-1 and take it from there. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.